you, Dr. Chaudhry. My name is Joan Frieda, and I'm a member of the Planning Committee, and it's my distinct pleasure this morning to introduce Mark Barish. Mark became involved with communications at a very, very early age. He was only 15 when he began working on commercial radio at a station in Mineola, New York, as a sports commentator. Shortly after that, he founded and published New York Ball, a monthly sports newspaper dedicated to New York sports. At age 18, he became a TV sportscaster for Long Island's first and only commercial TV station. Mark was the voice of the New York Cosmos soccer team during the years the great Pele played for the club. When he was 22, Mark left New York and took a job as sports anchor for the CBS TC station in Fresno, California. He was named California Sportscaster of the Year in 1979. At age 27, Mark moved to Detroit, Michigan, where he became a sportscaster for the CBS television station there. He also contributed many stories to ESPN's Sports Center and the CBS network. Since 1984, Mark has been in Pittsburgh to handle programming duties for WPXI TV. He has helped advise community organizations and groups and has been on the advisory boards for nationally syndicated television shows. In his spare time, what he has...
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nice to see everybody, and I want to thank my friend Safdar for inviting me here today. I hope to spend a few minutes with you to tell you some stories that maybe will motivate you and inspire you to do some things and to talk to people to do some things that you may otherwise thought you could not do. Now, I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm better now, but I wasn't so good 2 weeks ago. I was in my office where I have a panel of television sets, about 5 of them, and my head is down and I'm doing some work, and I suddenly look up for some reason, and on the screen is something that I really cannot believe. Maybe we can show you. This is on the screen. Either I had a bad night the night before, or Safdar did. I really didn't know what was going on. Was this a video that was not supposed to be on TV? I was sure of that. And I was really confused. And I'm holding my heart, what is going on here? And I calmed myself, as Safdar would have you do. And I finally heard the comforting announcement, watch Safdar Chaudhry talk about healing and humor on PCNC at 7:30 tonight. So it was a promo for a show that he was doing on healing and humor, and I got a lot of humor out of that, so I thought I'd share that with you. But I am better now. A little bit about me and what I do. As mentioned, I am the program director for WPXI and the station manager for the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. As program director, I have been there for 25 years, and I have perhaps one of the greatest jobs in the world. I get to choose what television shows go on television. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that I really love. Television is something that I have been with all my life and have loved all my life. My dad will tell you that when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time laying on the couch watching television, and he'd come downstairs, shake his head, and look at me and say, I hope someday you can find a job watching TV. I did, Dad, thank you. Title of my talk today is Who Says I Can't? I titled this because I love showing people who say, you're too young, you're too inexperienced, that's a crazy idea, you'll never be able to do it. I love proving those people wrong. So I am going to talk to you today about breaking rules, and I'm going to tell you why it's okay, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about childhood dreams. I was inspired to talk to you about childhood dreams because of a gentleman named Randy Pausch. Randy Pausch, you might remember, the CMU professor who gave his last lecture that millions have seen on video and millions have read about, and the lecture basically talked about his childhood dreams and whether he could check off that he made it or say it didn't quite happen. It was inspiring to millions, and it inspired me to talk a little bit about childhood dreams too. So what I hope to do today is to motivate you. I want you to learn how to break rules. I'm going to teach you how to be a polite pest. I'm going to talk to you about motivating kids with the message that I'm going to bring to you today. And it all starts with someone repeating a message over and over again. For me, it was my father, who repeated messages to me over and over until they sunk in and until I understood them. You see, I was too young and naive at age 14 and 15 to realize, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't do that. What are you trying to do? It can't be done. I was just too young at 14 to understand those concepts. So, with Dad's backing and Dad's go-for-it spirit, I went for a few things. I'm going to tell you first about a story about politely standing up for yourself. I was a big baseball fan, and I loved going to Yankee Stadium. Living in New York, it was about a 2-hour ride for me, and I would have to save all my money for about 6 months to get enough money to buy tickets to a New York Yankee game. So I did this, I collected money, saved money, and at age 14, I got enough money to take a bus to New York, to the Bronx, to go to a Yankee game. And 2 hours there, getting there, going to the stadium, sitting in my seats, and finding out that I'm now in seats that are blocked by a pole. There's a pole right in front of me. I cannot see a thing. I'm going like this, I'm going like this. It's not a comfortable experience. And I decided I've had enough of this. So I asked around, who can I speak to who can help me with this situation? And they all said, just sit down, kid, just sit down. No, I'm not going to sit down. I want to talk to somebody about this. So they finally gave me to a guy who was in this office. And I'm walking through this Yankee office, and I see some players walking by, and this is really cool. I'm really close to what's going on here. So I go up to this guy who apparently is in charge of something in his office, and I say, sir, I saved a lot of money to buy tickets to come to today's game, and I find myself behind a pole, and I'm not seeing very well. He said, He reached into his office desk and he pulled out an envelope. He said, here, go try these. So I take these tickets in the envelope, and I have no idea where they are. I take them to the gentleman who's supposed to lead you to seats, and he looks at them, opens the envelope, and says, come with me. So my friend and I took a friend with me. My friend and I are now following this man, and we keep getting closer and closer and closer to the field. Finally, he stops at the Yankee dugout, where I am now sitting in the owner's seats. The owner of the New York Yankees was not there. I got his seats. And it was because I politely stood up for something I thought was wrong. Make sure you do that in life. The next time I had trouble with the Yankees was when I received from a friend tickets to go to a game, and they were not the normal tickets. It was a yellow little sheet of paper, and he had won them in a contest. And I go to Yankee Stadium with my friend again, and we give our tickets, and the grumbly man who was taking the tickets, it was bat day, and I wanted my bat. The grumbly man who was taking tickets says, no bat, no bat. What? No bat? And I was really upset. I wanted my bat. But I didn't get the bat, and so I had to walk on and go to my seat. And I got there, and I'm really steaming through the whole afternoon. I wanted that bat. So when I got home, I wrote a letter to the New York Yankees Public Relations Director. Dear sir, I was at the game, it was bat day, I'm the right age to get a bat, I had what I thought was the right entry to get a bat, I didn't get a bat, please give me a bat. Next Saturday arrived at my house 2 Mickey Mantle bats. It was the greatest day of my life, because I chose to, again, tell somebody when I thought I was wrong. I was a polite pest. At 15 years old, radio was my passion. I loved the idea of having my voice on radio and talking to people. I loved it so much, I set up in my house a small transmitter that could transmit from my bedroom to the living room. And so I'd have my parents say, you hear me? I'm on, can you hear me? I made like I was on real radio. And so they'd listen, and, yeah, very nice, good Mark, good. Humoring me as best they could. But I loved radio so much, I needed a way to, well, I told you about the bad seat story, and I was determined to not let that happen to me again. But with the small amount of money I collected to go to ball games, I could only buy bad seats. That's all I could afford. So I sat one day in these bad seats and I said, how do you get to sit down there? Like this front row here, this would be in a basketball court, they'd be right on the court. How do you get to sit down there? And I figured out, that's the media. So all I have to do to get those seats is to become part of the media. So I developed a plan. I went home and I wrote to about 20 radio stations on Long Island, and I said, wouldn't it be great to have a 15-year-old talk about sports on your radio station? 19 of them didn't agree with me, but one did. They wrote me back and said, we'd love to talk to you about this idea. Call us. And I did, and they listened, and they said, if you can get some advertisers, you can be on the radio. Wow, okay, that's all I have to do? Yeah. I didn't know how to sell advertising, didn't know the first thing about it, but I put on my suit and my tie and my white shirt, and I went out knocking on doors. Would you buy some advertising for a radio show that I'm going to do on Long Island's WTHE? I'm going to talk about sports. And most of them said, sorry kid, we've spent our budgets. These are candy stores. We've spent our budgets on advertising. And finally, somebody said, how much is it? I said, it's $15. Sign me up for a month. So I got an advertiser and I was able to go on radio. Now I'm on radio, which was my passion. Now, being in the media, I can call teams and say, I'm on the radio doing a sports show and I would like to come to the game with press passes. Well, I got my press passes. So I'm now sitting down there and I'm now going to the games for free because I was a polite pest to radio stations. It worked out just fine. My motivation, and this is a word you're going to hear a bunch from me today, my motivation was great seats, free tickets, and being on the radio. And now I've got all those things going for me, and I'm feeling like, hey, this is kind of cool. I'm feeling like Superman. I can pretty much do anything. So my next motivation was a 15-year-old blonde named Janine. I'm on the radio, and I'm also in day camp as a counselor in training at 15 years old. And I told Janine I was on the radio, and she kind of thought that was cool. And she listened to my show once in a while, and it was always about the Yankees. And there was a player on the Yankees named Bobby Mercer. He was a great ball player. He was the guy that was the heir apparent to Mickey Mantle. Very popular, very good-looking young guy. And all the girls loved Bobby Mercer. And she said, you know, I like the Yankees too, and I would do anything to meet Bobby Mercer. Okay, so now I've got another challenge. How can I get Janine to meet Bobby Mercer? So I start to think, okay, how can I use the radio station to get Janine to meet Bobby Mercer? What I decided I would do was hold a contest that would be a contest that would have the people of my radio show listening audience vote for their favorite New York Yankee ball player. And then I would tell the Yankees that we had this contest and that this person has won the contest by being one of the people that voted for their favorite Yankee, and we'd like to present a trophy to Bobby Mercer at Yankee Stadium. I went to a trophy maker and I said, would you make a trophy if I mentioned your name on radio? He goes, sure kid, I'll make a trophy for you. It's made out to Bobby Mercer, please. Bobby Mercer, Long Island's favorite Yankee. I kind of fixed the contest. I had my parents call and vote. So Bobby Mercer won. And I told the Yankees, would it be okay if we came to present this trophy to Bobby Mercer? And they said, well, sure, it sounds like a neat idea. We'll set that up for you. And I said, the only other thing is that we chose a listener to present the trophy to Bobby Mercer. And they said, okay, well, we'll leave a couple of press passes for you. So please pick up the passes, come see me, and we'll take you on the field to meet Bobby Mercer. Oh, boy. I told Janine that she was the person that was going to give the trophy to Bobby Mercer, and she didn't believe me. But I picked up the trophy, and being 15, I wasn't able to drive yet, so we took the bus to Yankee Stadium. It was 2 hours, Janine and me, and this big old trophy. And we get to Yankee Stadium, and the guy says, oh, you're the person who wanted to have the contest and the whole thing? I said, yeah. And he said, okay, go at it. And this is what happened. Janine got to meet Bobby Mercer and give him the trophy for being Long Island's most popular Yankee. Now let me just go back a minute and tell you that when Janine said she would do almost anything, she lied.